What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another Tactic Tester episode, and in today's episode we are looking at the Sir Alex Ferguson iconic 4-4-2. Yes, that is right. We are going with one of the greatest managers in the game for today's episode to see if we can get his tactic working in today's world of football, where teams are playing 5 at the back and 3 in midfield. Fergie always kept it simple. Now let's see if we can recreate it. So have a look at the tactic first then. In terms of your goalkeeper, set to a sweeper keeper on a defend with no instructions. Fullback on the right-hand side then is set to attack. Loads and loads of instructions. We're telling them to pass it shorter, take fewer risks. When they cross, it's from the byline, not deep, and they are aiming for the centre. They've also got a mark nice and tight. Your 2 centre defenders are set to defend. On the right-hand side, the instruction of pass it shorter. And on the left-hand side, no extra instructions, so nice and simple. And then at left-back, a fullback who is set to support. Take fewer risks, cross from deep instead of the byline. Still aiming those crosses to the centre, and we want them to cut inside with the ball. They're going to hold that position, and they're going to mark tighter, so we don't want our left-back bombing on. When you move into the midfield, it's a flat 4-4-2. Now, you'll be used to seeing teams have players in this position, the right winger position, but we're going with a right mid. Now, the thing with this, it doesn't suit teams anymore because all of your right midfielder and your left attacking rights and attacking left, so your AMLs, your AMRs, we very rarely see an MR on Football Manager anymore. So this is very, very interesting. As you can see in here, Smith Rowe is the best option for Arsenal, and he is only a 6 out of 10 in that position. But your right midfielder is going to take more risks. They're going to shoot more often and get further forward and be allowed to roam from their position. In the middle of the midfield, on the right first, we have the ball-winning midfielder set to defend, who's going to play nice short passes. And next to him, your centre mid set to support. Now, they're going to take more risks and get further forward, and they're going to roam from position as well, so look to create for your front two. On the left, it's a winger set to attack with no additional instructions. Up front, your front two. On the right, we have a pressing forward set to support with instruction of move into channels, and then an advanced forward set to attack who's going to shoot more often. That advanced forward is going to be the main responsibility for your goals. Now, your team instructions then, we are set to an attacking mentality, and we've kept it nice, simple and concise for your team instructions. We're going to play a wide game and pass the ball into space, and we're focusing our play down the right hand side, as you can see with the overlap. Right, we are literally wanting to overload the left back and left midfielder of the opposition. In transition, we're going to distribute it quickly, and we're going to counter, but we're also going to counter press. Fergie was probably one of the first real components in the Premier League of the counter press, so it's going to be interesting, you think, when you have the likes of Andy Cole, Dwight York, Ruud van Nistelrooy, all of those would press from the front. And when we're out of possession, it's going to be a mid-block and a standard defensive line with the instructions of get stuck in. Imagine Roy Keane being told to stay on his feet when he was at the height of his ability at Manchester United. It is certainly going to be interesting to see what we can get out of this tactic. I, for one, am really excited to see if we can finally get a 4-4-2 to work. We've tried Arsenal Invincibles and it didn't work. For those of you who haven't seen these videos before, let me explain what we do, as I do at the start of every video. So we do 3 simulations, one with Arsenal, one with AC Milan, and one with Borussia Dortmund. We holiday the entire season, leaving our assistant manager in charge. And all we do is we tell them they have to use this tactic. We don't tell him what lineup he has to use. We just say use the tactic. Now, what we have done is we have started making ourselves unsackable. The reason for that is it means that every single season we get the same amount of games and we get a full season in. Rather than, say, one season having 20 games, the next season having 25, it actually seems a fairer way to get an overall result if we play every game of the season. Don't forget as well, the part of the reason I'm doing that is because we enter these results into a league table, and at the end of the lifespan of Football Manager 2023, we'll be crowning a winner and then looking ahead to doing all this again on 24. It's going to be really interesting. At the moment, let me have a look at who is leading at the moment. It is a Josh Daly tactic because the one I've just tried didn't succeed, unfortunately. Now at the top, it is Josh Daly's Diego's defensive masterclass with 222 points. And RDF Tactics pushed him really close with 218. I mean, that was all done. I must admit, RDF's thrived in Italy. He got 92 points in Italy and 58 in England, 68 in Germany. So that was unbelievable, the fact that it got so many points in Italy. In fact, if I look at that table, we have repeatedly got more points in Italy than we have any other league. So that's certainly interesting. Anyway, I digress and I go off on a tangent and I apologise. So let's get on with this now. We're going to start with Arsenal and then we're going to fly over to Italy. Let's see how we got on in our first season in the Premier League. All right then, so season 1 is now in the bag. Let's see exactly how we got. In terms of the league, we finished 4th, so we got Champions League football, which is a really good result for us. 65 points plus 25 goal difference isn't bad as well. The biggest problem we had is we just lost far too many games, losing 13 games over the course of the season. Gabriel Jesus, put my teeth back in, scored 26 goals over the course of the season. And Tomiyasu got 14 yellow cards. Gabriel got 12. So discipline, I think, was another issue. If you look, Kieran Tierney also got 11. 11 in just 32 games. Tomiyasu got 14 yellow cards in 27 games. That is damn impressive. Gabriel got 12 yellow cards in 28. So really quite impressive. In terms of the competitions then, we actually finished runners-up in the FA Cup, and we got to the semi-finals of the Europa League and got knocked out by Man United. We were knocked out in the Carabao Cup in the 4th round, but we're not too fussed about that. So let's have a look at the squad in terms of how they did. Gabriel Jesus, 33 goals, 12 assists. Martinelli got 30 goals as well. Bukayo Saka got 10 goals and 18 assists. Martin Odegaard, 10 assists. And Smith Rowe got 14. 12 assists. So you can see that, they are quite impressive. On the bench, Eddie Nketiah also got 24 goals and 11 assists, which is, again, you've got 3 players hitting 20 goals for the season. That is really good. And not only that, you've got 5 players hitting 10 or more assists, which, again, is fantastic. Our problem was, I said it there, that we just lost too many games. And the end of the season kind of summed that up, where we lost, we had Man United 3 games back to back, and we lost in the league, then we lost in the Europa League. We lost 4-0 to Brighton, 1-0 to Chelsea. 4-0 to Brighton is pretty shocking, considering Ismail Assar scored a hat-trick inside the first 25 minutes of the game. And yet there were other games this season where we completely demolished teams, such as 7-1 against Nottingham Forest, 4-2 against Aston Villa. We put Tobal Castani in the Europa League 7-1. Then there were games like Newcastle, which was just 4-4, which was just a goal fest. So it was a bit of a weird season, especially when you consider, our first, 10 games, we won every single one, and then we lost to Liverpool 1-0. But we were pipped to, we were a long way behind 3rd, but, that's just what it is. So it's not a bad start to the season, actually. I think, let me have a look at so that is only the 2nd time we've got 60 or more points with Arsenal, which is in itself really impressive. So that is a total of 65 points to go into that leaderboard there. We've now got AC Milan. Now, normally, AC Milan are the team we do really well with. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare with this tactic. Let's see how we got on, though, over in Italy. All right, then. So the Milan season is now done. Let's find out exactly how we got on. Now, we finished 4th, 71 points, 22 wins, 11 defeats. So it is that defeats column again. If we could turn some of those defeats into draws, we'd be closing in on Roma. If we could turn some of them into wins, we'd be pushing a bit further up. 37 goal difference, and Oliver Giroud was the highest rated player across the course of the season. If we look at the goals scored, 76 and only 39 conceded. So actually, we had the worst goals conceded of the top 4 by quite some distance. So that needs to change, really. If we look at the data hub then, shots per game, we are miles ahead of the rest of the league. Expected goals per game and goals per game, we're ahead. Our problem is that we still aren't really that far ahead in conceded per game, so we need to improve defensively. Let's have a look at the team then. So, Oliver Giroud got 39 goals in 46 games. Zlatan Ibrahimovic only got 17, while Rafael Leao got 24 goals. No one player got 10 assists. That, again, is shocking. The highest one, I think, there is Alessandro. I'll put my teeth in again. Alessandro Florenzi. He got 9. But outside of that, there isn't really anybody else who shone. Competition-wise, so fourth in the league, quarterfinals of the Champions League, lost to Barcelona, quarterfinals of the Coppa Italia, we knocked out by Napoli, and we finished runners-up in the Super Cup. So, you know, we could have done better. So we've got one season left. We're going over to Germany with Dortmund. Let's see how we got on. At the moment, this stands on 136 points. So another 70-point season will see it go around about fourth or third in the league table. Otherwise, it's going to be stuck in the 100s with the park away tactic that we did on Monday. Let's find out how we got on. All right, then, so third and final season of this test is in the bag. Let's find out exactly how we got on. Now, in terms of the league, then, Dortmund, 62 points, 19 wins, 5 draws, 10 defeats, a positive goal distance of 32. Adeyemi got 27 goals and was the highest rated player in the league. He got 6 man of the matches over the course of the season. In terms of assists, Marius Wolf got 10 and Rafael Guerrero got 9. And Schlotterbeck got 14 yellow cards, so was the worst, or joint worst, with Riddle Baku of Wolfsburg, worst disciplined player in the season. Let's have a look at the stages in terms of what we did overall then. So, 75 goals for what we did concede 43. I mean, how different could the season have been if we hadn't conceded 43 goals? That is the question you have to ask. It could have been very different. I mean, there are teams here, 31 goals, Mainz, 38 goals, Frankfurt, 39 for Köln, 28 goals for Wolfsburg in 10th place, but they only scored 32. They didn't even score a goal a game, which is shocking. But, you know, how different could our season been had we not conceded 43 and we conceded 28? Who knows? In terms of the squad, then, let's have a look. So Marco Reus, 12 goals, 6 assists in the league, on all competitions, 11 goals for Sebastian Haller, 10 assists from Marius Wolf, as we know. Bellingham got 7. And then Gregor Cabal, let's see, he played 42 games in all competitions, conceding a massive 59 goals. Actually conceded 15 goals in the Champions League. So, you know, the less said about that. We did have Karim Adeyemi, who's obviously not, for some reason, in their best 11. I think it's because at the start of the season, he is underrated. He's a young player. 30 goals in 39 games in all competitions. And Daniel Malan got 11 in 28. So not a bad return. In terms of the data hub, as with the previous save, shots per game, massive, goals per game, massive, and the expected goals per game, massively, where they, massively outweighing. Our pass completio rate, though, was lower than the league, and our conceded and shots against per game was the pretty much bang on average. Defensively, this tactic maybe struggles a little bit, but it's not a dreadful tactic. It's definitely maybe a 7 out of 10. Let's have a look at how many points we have amassed. So we got 62. Where is the league table? That gives us a grand total of 198 points across 3 seasons, which isn't bad at all. Now, if you want to download this tactic, the link is in the bio, so please feel free to download it. Give it a go. I actually think if you manage this tactic day in, day out, and you adjust it in games as you need to, you'll probably get really good results. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments how you get on it, and I will see you in the next episode.